Hi there guys, this is just going to be a short-ish video. I'll say short-ish because I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. But I just wanted to show something I've been working on. Obviously we are in Foundry VTT here. I apologise for this banner up the top, but I really don't want to give away my address for where I post my Foundry at the moment. Especially not with me posting this on YouTube. But I wanted to show a system that I've been working on. So I run Pathfinder 2 a lot. I ran some D&D a lot. And Foundry is a very, very strong virtual tabletop. But I couldn't find a system for one of the RPGs that I really love and want to be able to play again, which is the Battletech role-playing game, Time of War. I've loved this since since before the new edition came out, but I loved it enough that when the playtest for A Time of War came out, I sat down and spent a lot of time going through the math to the point that I am thanked in the credits of the book from the forums as Starfleet, which is what my forum handle used to be back on the Battletech forums, because I found a whole bunch of errors in the character creation. So with no system for it being there for Foundry, I decided, well, let's see if we couldn't create one. So while I can code, and I can code quite well, Java script is not my strongest suits. So I decided to use some of my Codex credits and the like to see if it could help me code a system. It's not complete. I will prefix that right now. But this is what we have so far. We are in a test scene. First off, you will notice that this actor over here has a few things that normally Foundry doesn't have, which is these markers. That is because this actor is a battle mech, as you can see here. It's actually a commando, which is the test unit that I made with all of its stuff. The rules for this aren't exactly in place yet, partly because I'm not 100% certain on how deep I want to go into the mech combat within Foundry, because in a lot of ways, for mech combat, well, that's what Mega Mech exists for. But either way, it's here and it's all functional, just like it should be. You know, you can look at the equipment list, you can look at all this stuff. All the information's there for if you wanted to do tabletop role. You can summary it, you can do a condensed view. It allows you to bring it down, kind of run it like you would on good old Mega Mech. You can tell it to do the 2d6 or the 2d6 plus gunnery, etc, etc. We also have these two items because when we right click on a battle mech, we get these new little controls down the bottom here, which allows us to do a torso twist. Rather important aspect of, well, Battletech. So that's mech. We have the compendiums in. This is one of the reasons why I'm not 100% certain on if I'll ever release this, or if I do, these may not end up in it because I've got reference material that I am using. Now, a lot of this is, especially these two areas, they're in Mega Mech. I'm fairly certain that, you could argue if it's not being done for profit, it could be released. I'm not certain. But all the mech weapon stuff is all here. Our character equipment, personal equipment, we've got all our PPE. At the moment, I've done all the armor stuff. I haven't done all the electronics and things like that. This is still a big work in progress, and all the weapons are done, and everything like that. We have our characters, so standard character sheet. I will actually go find Lisa test down here. So this is a test build from the character creation example, with some changes from where I've been testing, but you can see we've got all of our body, our movement, all automatically calculated, combat data, automatically calculated, our armor, our primary ranged, our primary melee, our skills and traits are all here. Our life path, or I should say life module, but I called it life path. That's what it was originally, and I just continue to call them life path. Thing and complete character generator that works. I'll show that in a moment. And of course our inventory with the ability to equip and unequipped. We can also link a mech in up here. On top of that, we use Foundry's own measurement system for our movement and everything. So if we start a combat encounter here, and we'll do two things here actually. One, we will quickly draw a region control down here, a new one. We're going to draw a region here. We're going to say, just for the moment, always visible, just so we know it, so we can see it. And we're going to add a new behavior, modify movement cost. And you'll notice that we've got a whole bunch of extras here. Top ones are the default ones that are just part of Foundry, but everything down here is new and part of the Time of War system. So we're just going to say 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, which is basically, if you know the system, that's telling it that this is very rough terrain, near unpassable. That done. Apart from the fact that the region just vanished, because so always for anyone. There we go. Okay, let's move Lisa one here. We'll leave the other one over this side. We'll drag these guys down here for a second. Oh, we didn't really want the mech. I really got to remember the command to just teleport stuff rather than moving it this way. We're going to start a combat. Now, if you are familiar with Foundry, you'll notice that there is an extra button here. That is because we can bring this up. We don't have any combat, so we've got no actions. So we're going to begin the encounter. First thing you'll notice is that it's asking if any of the tactic sub-skills apply. If you know Battletech, like Time of War's combat system, you'll know that this is basically going, okay, we need this information for initiative. So we're going to turn around and say that the infantry tactics apply for this one. And hit apply. And you'll notice the moment we hit apply, it instantly rolled initiative. And if we bring up the chat here, you will see that one of our people got a bonus and actually managed to roll 2d6. Rather impressive. Rare. Impressive. But you will notice then that Lisa test 2 over here is first, and we have this action phase that it's showing information just quick and easy without having the character sheet up that we can cross-reference. And also for doing the combat. So first it's showing us that currently with no movement, well, we've got no movement, we haven't moved at all. And it's showing us our actions. So we've got our 5 incidentals, our 2 simple and our complex. And the thing here is if we do a complex action, we can't do a simple action. And if we do simples, we can't do a complex. And it shows that. The other one is we can either select a movement type here, so walk, run, crawl, climb simple, swim simple, sprint, evade, climb complex, swim complex. We can change it there, or we can actually come in and we can change it in the Foundry UI items here. That's what all these lower ones are. The other one is it tracks using Foundry's movement. So we just moved closer to 3 meters than 2. So it's saying 3, we moved 3. And if we bring this down to ground level, we've now moved 5 because we've moved 3 meters horizontally, 2 meters vertically. If we move through the difficult terrain, you'll notice that it jumps rapidly. It takes the difficult terrain and the like into account here. So just to show, we'll get to the next turn. So we're 8 meters here, and if we came down to here, 10 meters, and if we screwed this up and we're like, nope, we need to move back here, obviously it's going to do the complain, but if we clear movement history, it clears off here. So we can see normally this would be 2 and a bit meters. If we move our character up to here and clear, then move through here, we can see that we're paying the cost for the difficult terrain, and it applies down here. As we move through, let's say Lisa Test here wants to hold their action. They've just held their action. Next person in the initiative's up, but they decide they want to go. They get highlighted, their turn to go. At the end of the round, initiative gets re-rolled as per Battletech's rules. It all runs through. We can do our proper attribute checks. We can do a double attribute check. We can do our proper skill checks. Wrong one. Roll. Roll properly. I'm in the middle of working on combat, but if we move to somebody who actually has a weapon, Release a test up here and target the one down here. We can do a ranged attack. Doesn't do any damage at the moment. As I said, I'm working on it. We're almost to the damage part, but get the attack roll, and it will later take into account movement and the like. And we can also do melee attacks, which correctly do their margin of error opposed checks, taking into account whatever each character currently has equipped and the like. So if you're attacking with a melee weapon, it will try and use melee weapons first. If not, it will use martial arts. And same with defending. If you've got a melee weapon in your hand and you have the melee weapon skill, it'll use melee weapon. If you don't, then it'll use martial arts. And if you don't have martial arts or the like, it'll use the reflex action. Finally, we have the character creator. So let's end this combat encounter. And we'll create one and we'll call it Tom. So we can come into here and we have the full phase breakdown life module point buy system that makes up the core of Battletech's character creation. You can see we can see all of the various factions. I need to do some work on the templates and the like. But let's say we'll make a invading clan character. I actually haven't ran through the clan stuff, and there's a chance we might find some bugs because there's like this. I need to double check why we've got a choice, but we don't have the second choice there, which we should have. Yeah, and that we've got some notes where apparently I screwed up the formatting, things like that. We'll make it a clan wolf. Not much of a choice. I don't know why I've got this as a choice. I'll have to... Maybe that I've screwed something up in my layout for this, but we can see that primary language is English. We don't exactly get a choice. Clans only have English. So secondary language, really? Well, there is, but I don't really want to pick one. Because the invading clan secondary language is basically well, English. We're going to take perception and strategy as our skills here. So we can see that we've got this, got our spent. Next, we're going to say we were trueborn. And again, we can see that we get all of this stuff. It's all going in. We get 15 XP to 5 attributes, traits, or skills. So we're going to say at this point, this is going to be a mech warrior build. So we're going to start putting some of our skills towards that. Piloting. Mech. Because this is flexible, there's nothing stopping us going like this, and if we wanted to. It's a valid way of using it. The character creation system in the actual rules do something similar with some of the flexibles. I tend to try and make this at least balance out a little bit, especially given, we may have stuff that we have, prerequisites and the like we have to meet. Like down here, some of these mark the fact that we are missing a couple of bits and pieces. The other one is we're going to have to add our mech warrior phenotype. It's got to be manually added. I just realized I could actually give it as a free trade option. So I need to make a note of that, and I'll have to rebuild this skill. But we could just go, because technically I don't even think I got phenotype in here. Here I do, right there. If I don't have the specialities in it, I'm gonna have to fix that later. I'm gonna remove that one. We are going to put skill into gunnery. And then, the martial arts, we know that a Sibco and the like gets into a lot of combat and things like that. So we're going to say that the thing, so maybe some survival. Go planes. So that's S1 built. We've got our 5, count 5 spent. Thing, we hit next. And of course here, Reborn Sibco. Submodule. Mech Warrior. And then from here we can turn around and we can see that it's added 6 towards here. All of this, we got no free. Next stage, they don't get higher education. There is no higher education for this, and it actually notes that upon completing this stage, we must proceed to stage 4. So in stage 4, we're going to turn around and say that they did a tour of duty, plan only. Their vehicle, EM communications, their interest, well, they decided they spent a bunch of time learning the remembrance. And how to take care of their weapons. We get our bonus skills, plus 75, 20 attributes. Well, at the moment, their charisma is really low. We need to fix, so we'll probably want to put some of that in the charisma. And some of it probably into Dex. And then 10 skills from the military fields. This requires you to actually have at least an idea of what your military skills are. You can look by coming back here. There's your basic training here. Oh, we missed the flexible. Back here. We could turn around and go, because this is 50, so we're going to put this into flex. But yeah, these are your military set, basically, as are things like the mech set. That was dumb. Look the wrong thing. So, navigation ground, we'll put a point there. I can see I've screwed up somewhere here in my entry, because we've got this piloting battle mech, which should be piloting mech. We can fix that in the point by, no big deal. But it's a bug in my data entry. I had to enter a lot of data. And things happen. We'll dump another one in there. More into martial arts, then where are we at? There's our 10. Right, so 250, 250. We get our choice down here. We're going to take vehicle again. Our navigation, again, we're going to go ground navigation. We've got some flexibles, again, further down that we can spend. It's not part of submodule, which is 100 points in attribute, skills, or traits. We're going to turn around and go trait, and we're going to go we'll put it into his trueborn. Right, so and technically we could take this again. Note that I've not actually fully tested taking these more than once. It's meant to work. It should work. I've not tested it. I'm not about to right now. But we can come into our point by. So first off, it's going to note that we have some issues. The other one is we have these optimize and the adds and then removes, right? So if we look, we know we've got this extra battle mech one. We're going to remove this, which will give us back 15 points up here. So what we can do there is dump those 15 points back into piloting mech and bring this up to 115. Not enough to make it level 4. We can optimize this so it automatically sets charisma to 1 because all stats have to be 1. That gives us this part. We can see how much XP we've got remaining. Stats here are pretty low, gotta admit. So we're also going to optimize our traits. Blood name is currently rating a 0. How do I want to handle it? Well, I'm going to say he hasn't got his blood name yet. So we're going to set it to, we're going to tell it to just to delete it. Our combat sense is 0. I actually want that one to be 1. Our compulsion arrogance, currently 0. We're going to set that to -1. Our wolf pride to -1. Our connections, we'll just delete that. We don't need it. Our equipped, we want that to be 1. Our phenotype, we're just going to leave that as is for the moment. Our reputation, say we want that at 1. Our vehicle trait, I just noticed another one I need to fix. We're going to tell it to delete. And then our skills here, we're going to optimize them as well. We'll set it to 1. Set it to 1. Set that to 1. Set swimming to 1. Okay, so after doing this, we've got 1,421 points without buying any extra traits, negative traits, which technically we can buy up to a -500 outside of the life module in traits. So we can start doing our buy system here. So we want to get our body up to 400, strength up to 400, reflex we want at 500, dex at 5, 3, 3. We want these to be at least like 2. Edge isn't so good. So we're going to sit here and turn around and go, you know what? What's True Vaughn actually give us? So let's have a look, right? We come to our life modules here. Character generation. Life modules. True Vaughn's actually not a... No, not life modules. Right, you dope. Okay, I need to check the... I'm going to have to go through and check the clan stuff because True Vaughn's not an actual trait. I mean, it's potentially... Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. Citizen / True Vaughan. And see, I can see it can only go to 2. Another thing that I just realised I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to write a note about. So bear with me one moment while I use a good old thing called a pen and paper to make a note that Carjan check rate cost and exceed max or min values. We'll check that later, but that got us back 100. We come down to phenotype. You'll notice that this just tells us that we get some free, which is applied after we spend XP. And it presumes at the moment that you have the book or the like, because this does not automatically apply. They're here, but yeah, I have some work to do on some of these. But you get the idea. Anyway, let's just say this disaster of a character was done, right? We might have enough there to get. Oh, because we're slow learner. I'm like, these don't look normal. Then I remembered he's got slow learner. So our 21 points is almost enough to get this to get our med tech to 55, but not quite. So to get it to 54. You'll notice now at the moment we have to go allow prereq override. Thing, and we can go right here, finalize character. Character generation was applied. We can see all of his information and see that it's filled this out. We could go through and do the changes that we need to do now for his phenotype or the like. Set his current hit points, etc., etc. And we could do the rest. That's where this is up to at the moment. Feel free to leave questions, comments, suggestions in comment section below. Sorry that this is a little rambly. To head off a couple of questions at the moment, no, it's not public. Is it going to be public? I don't know. The base system, I know I shouldn't have any problems releasing that. Non-profit, etc., etc. It's the data and the like, I'm not 100% certain on. But yeah. Anyway, that is where I will call it for the moment. You can obviously tell I have not focused too much on clan characters, because it's not where game I want to run is going to be. So yeah, haven't focused too much on clan characters. The other one, we do have the item types for skills, all of this stuff in so far. We're getting some more stuff done. So just taking time, like most things. Of course, character-wise, we can create vehicles that aren't properly in yet. We do have the rat tables here as well. Okay, I will catch people later on. Feel free to comment, like, question, etc., etc. Bye.